Cyberpunk 2077. What a controversial release, man. I mean, they couldn't have done worse. They couldn't have done worse. They could not have. Cyberpunk 2077. Holy shit. This game has come a long way since release. But, like, not enough still, somehow. So today we're going to be talking about, Cyberpunk in 2021. What is it like? What is it like a year after release? Almost a year. There's been a lot of bug fixes. There's been a lot of updates. There's been a lot of backlash. A lot of backlash. And how the f*** do we still not have a single piece of DLC for this game? How is there literally a year later, zero DLC? Forza Horizon 5 came out 4 fucking days ago, and that basically already has DLCs for it. So I'm not really sure what's going on there with the extra content. But there's been a lot of broken promises throughout this whole Cyberpunk 2077 ordeal. Now, I'll be the first to admit, I absolutely love Cyberpunk. I love the story, I loved the gameplay, but the most important thing is I came into the game with this much expectation. I had no expectations for the game. I was really excited for it. I knew it was an RPG made by the same motherfuckers that made The Witcher 3, and that's it. That's the only thing that I knew. So I came into this game with an incredibly open mind, ready to just play a game. I didn't have expectations, and I know there was a lot of expectations set for this game when it was originally released, but I personally had none, which is probably why I like it as much as I do. But I will say, after going back and looking at the promises these developers made, I'm like, what the fuck? The stuff that they promised is just not in the game. Straight up, they made a lot of promises for a lot of things that just aren't there. So anyways, we're gonna dive into it. What is this game like a year after release? Probably the biggest flop in gaming history. I'm talking, I don't think I have ever seen a game flop so hard. I mean, people were so stoked for this game. I'm like so stoked for this game, and now nobody is excited about it at all. No one cares about it anymore. It's crazy to see. It's crazy to see. So I'm excited to kind of dive into it, give you guys my thoughts on what it's like in 2021, in the year later. The gameplay you guys are going to see is on my PC. Keep in mind, it's not even that crazy high-tech of a PC. It's a nicer PC, but it's not crazy. But also keep in mind, I have the exact same feelings towards the game on the Series X. It plays the exact same. I had very similar issues. It's about the exact same as my console, my next-gen console. So I just want to throw that out there. I'm not playing on a $45,000 PC. I'm not playing on fucking NASA gear over here. We're just playing on a normal PC, and it's the same shit on my Series X, alright? So the first thing that I want to point out is if you didn't like the gameplay to begin with, if you didn't like the story or just simply what you do in the game, you're gonna hate it still. It's not anything different as far as the actual core gameplay. They have fixed pretty much nothing about the actual core gameplay. What they have fixed in the last year is just a shit ton of bug issues that really should have been fixed when the game released. I'll be real, it definitely should have just been fixed when the game released, but I digress. The game has done really well in fixing a lot of game-breaking issues, which they shouldn't have had to fix because they should have just released it working. But they've done really well fixing a lot of these game-breaking issues. Now, even from day one, I wasn't experiencing anything crazy on my Series X. I played it on my Series X day one is what I played it on. And even then, I didn't experience anything crazy, but there was a shit ton of bugs still. It was just my motorcycle was just flying all over the place. I was falling through the map randomly. That's not the case anymore. Nothing game-breaking on my PC or my Series X. Nothing game-breaking. The game would never crash. It would never just pause and stop. None of that stuff. Just, we're talking simple bugs and glitches. Kind of like in Skyrim or any other game. Any other RPG that you can think of. There's just those basic bugs. If you're in a giant open world, there's going to be something. So sometimes there will be graphical issues where there will be a random NPC doing some fuck shit. And sometimes your character will just, look kind of weird. But, other than that, there's nothing crazy. But like I said, as far as Cyberpunk goes and CD Projekt Red, the big issue here is not the game itself. It's the promises that were made that weren't fulfilled. And there's still a lot of them. There's no extra content yet. They fucking gave us a reskinned Johnny Silverhand, some free shitter car, and said, here's your DLCs. What the fuck is that? What is that? Mind-boggling. I saw that shit, I was like, there's no way they're trying to pass this off as extra content, right? And they did. That was the extra content they're trying to pass off. A reskinned Johnny Silverhand and some shitter car. So, still pretty much just a broken promised land. But, as far as the core gameplay goes, as far as, the story goes, I love the story personally. I think it's phenomenal. It's the reason I like the game. And then I like the gameplay. A lot of people are not a big fan of the gameplay, saying, oh, what the fuck are these little, like, police side missions you do? All the quests are the same. Yeah, but I like it. So if you don't like that, you're not going to like it in 2021. You're not going to like it in 2025. That's just how the game works. There's these little police excavations you can go on. You can go on, like, little, just, I don't know, fucking mini missions that aren't even really that many because they're all basically just the same. But it's fun, in my opinion. I don't know why, but I enjoy it. All of the side quests are basically, like, very similar. There's, like, a chain of, like, a lot of side quests, like 20, that are all the same. Like, the Cyber Psycho side quests, they're all the exact fucking same. You do the exact same thing on all of them. But it's still fun, in a way. It's fun. They're all different in their own glorious way, but you're doing the same thing. It's kind of, there's always, like, these one-off side quests that are just completely different than any other quest you've done, and those are dope, but for the most part, you're just kind of following the same exact thing, you know? These cyber psychos, you're just same shit over and over, but I like it, alright? I enjoy it, personally. I feel like it's got all the right RPG aspects. It's got a great storyline. The world is fucking phenomenal. The world that they created is so perfect. It's a shame that so many people won't give this game a chance ever, because the world, it's phenomenal. The city that they built is truly miraculous. It's really cool. It's a really cool atmosphere that they've created in this game. It really is. So I mean, you got the beautiful world, you've got the beautiful storyline, you've got the, like, leveling up is great too. You've got interesting enough guns. I wish that the guns were better. They're basically all reskins of each other, but you got interesting enough guns, and the gunplay is fine. The hacking is really unique and cool, but somewhere along the line, it just doesn't work, and it's probably just the bugs. For most people, it was probably just the bugs. Now that those have been fixed, I feel like if you're coming back to this game, you're still gonna feel incomplete, because it's not an exceptionally different game. It's kind of the same as most RPGs. The world is exponentially different, which is why I love it, but it's not that different of a game. Once you get past all the bugs and the shit storm that was the release, once you get past all that, it's a working game now. Like, you can definitely play it. So once you get past all that and play it, I feel like you guys are still going to be disappointed, because it's not this different RPG that they marketed it to be. It's not this completely changed and new experience that no one has ever experienced before. No, it's not. It's like the same core type of RPG that all the other RPGs are. It's basically the same shit, but it's just a different world that you're in, which I like. I fucking love it. It's one of my favorite RPGs ever. If not, it's my favorite RPG ever. But for someone that's just trying to get past the bugs and trying to give it a shot, you're probably going to be disappointed still. There's nothing new about Cyberpunk or different. I love the voice acting. I love the storyline, and I think there's enough side storylines to make it a very worthy RPG. But I don't know how you guys will feel about it. So that's my experience. Cyberpunk 2077 in 2021, it works perfectly fine enough to play. It is definitely not game-breaking. It is definitely not a game that you just can't even play because of how many bugs there are, like it was in the beginning. It is a very playable game. It's very enjoyable. It's got a lot to do and a lot of quests. But if you're somebody that doesn't like more repetitive type things, if you were looking for something in this game that is just different than anything else, you're not going to find it here. But it's still fun and worth checking out, because there's enough different stuff about Cyberpunk, right? Like we already mentioned, the map. That's different than anything else we've experienced in any other video game. I think I can honestly say that. As well as the cyberware upgrades, just the mantis blades, just fucking shit up with your mantis blades is just, it's awesome. So there's enough, like, different stuff about this game. Obviously, I'm not saying it's the exact same shit as The Witcher or any other RPG, but it's not that different. Y'all know what I'm saying? I feel like y'all know what I'm saying. Anyways, that's my rant for today. That's it. That's really all that it is. Seriously, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. I want to know what you guys think about Cyberpunk now. Now that they've, like, fixed all the bugs and moving past the issue of, oh, they should have already had this shit fixed in the first place. Obviously, they fucking should have had it fixed in the first place, but they didn't. So, like, now that they've fixed it, I want to know what your guys' thoughts are. I know there's going to be some dickwad in the comments that's going to be like, oh, JDO, well, this is just miraculous that we're celebrating these bug fixes. This shit should have been fixed in the first place. No dip. Like, fuck, obviously it should have been fixed in the first place. No one's saying it shouldn't have, but it wasn't. And now it is. So now what are your thoughts? Fucking Timmy. Get the fuck out of my comment section, Timmy. Anyways, Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comment section down below. Because I love the game. I have so much fun with it. I love the story. I even though the side quests are very repetitive, I fucking love it. I don't know what it is, but I love the game. What's your guys' thoughts? Anyways, it's JDO, and I better be seeing your comment in the section below.